Alright, so just putting the finishing touches on this lamp, at least for the model itself. We've covered going from an image plane to an actual cylinder and matching that as best we can to the actual shape. We've gone over adding edge loops and even went over adding our little top to the lampshade itself. How much detail you put into this is relevant to how close you're going to get to it. If you're this far, this is more than enough detail. If you're going to get a shot that's like super close up, then you might want to actually go in, double click, grab that top edge because it's paper, it appears to be paper thin. And that would be a little bit weird, especially if it's supposed to be like a little wood frame of, something that would actually hold the cloth. So if I just extrude that, oops, and here's the fun part, that's an old one. So if I actually go in, extrude that edge, right, just like that. And instead of using the manipulator, I'm actually just going to use a standard scale tool and just scale that inward a little bit. And if I really needed to, so it has this weird indentation, if I really need to, I'm going to scale that in and I'm going to extrude one more time. Press G, W for the translate, and just move that down. And that way it covers up that gap. Okay, so now if I click on it and go to mode 3, we have a thickness to it that somebody'd have to get really close to see that it actually is not a, that it has a gap. So once again, I'll just do that, and I'm going to do it to the bottom. Double click to grab the whole ring. Extrude and use the actual scale, and then if need be, extrude again and lift that up a bit. Go in object mode, press 3 to see what it looks like smooth, and we see it has thickness to it, and that actually makes it look a lot better. Okay. Now the last thing would be adding those extra details. Now the original model itself is pretty smooth, but maybe I want to take it a step further. Maybe this image resource is just a reference, and it's a base for me because I'm not a lamp builder and in real life. I am one virtually. So maybe I want to go a little further than that. So I'm going to actually go in and I'm going to go into face mode, and I'm in mode 1. So I'm going to grab, let's say, this edge, and I'm going to hold down Shift, double click. And I'm going to do this for every other section on this area. So Shift, double click, Shift, double click. And you notice I'm leaving a space in between each one. Shift, left mouse. While I'm holding down Shift, double click, left mouse. Hold down Shift, left mouse click. I'm still holding down Shift, double click, left mouse. Shift left, Shift double click, and so on and so forth. Now it's really important that I kept this when I created the cylinder an even number, so that way there's an even number of, I can go every other one and not have a weird section where there's two next to each other. So in essence, there's going to be 10 that are selected and 10 that aren't in the rows. Okay, so I've got every other one selected. I extrude that, and I'm going to push that in just a wee bit. And I'm going to scale it in just a wee bit, just like so. Okay. So now, this is what I have. That's all fine and well, but still has that little sharp look. If I hit 3, what does that look like? Ooh la la, that's nice. And now it looks more molded and that I have more details to this. And that works out really well. I could add that to different sections. Just press 1. I could add edges if I wanted to try and lock that down a little bit more. To try and hold the shape just a wee bit more in some areas. And you see it's holding a little bit better, giving it a little bit of a lip. If I really wanted to, I could add more edges to kind of lock these down. So right now you can see how this is rounding out very much, and I like that. But let's say I wanted it to be a little bit more detailed, so I'd pop that in, that edge right there. And you see now it's not as rounded, it's more of a flat edge around the bottom, and that looks pretty nice too. So that's with no extra edges, except the one up at the top. This is with an extra edge that's going across, and it's helping to keep that shape. The more edges I would add to this, the more I could keep it more of a rectangle shape rather than an elliptical kind of round shape. And once I'm actually done with that, and if I said, like, I press 3 and I'm like, wow, you know what, that looks pretty cool. I dig that. And there may be 1 or 2 areas that I want to add a little bit more of that detail in by putting an edge on either side. And I could even just exaggerate that just by shrinking that down just a little bit like that, just to give it a nice harder edge, make it look more manufactured in some of those areas. Like these are separate pieces. And this is how I detail it out. And once I've gotten it exactly the way I want it, then I would just permanently smooth it, which means I would just go to Mesh, Smooth. And now it is permanently smooth. I don't have to add extra divisions. It's doing what I want it to. And now I've got a very nice, clean, detailed lamp. This, remember, is at level 1. So if I wanted to do that, I would do the same. Mesh, Smooth. Now, this is a little faceted. That's okay for right now. If I did increase the number of divisions, it makes it very dense, but I could round out and get rid of that. Okay. And now I've got a fully completed lamp that is entirely done. Now I didn't do the bulb. We'll do that when we start doing lighting and stuff. It's pretty easy to do, and I could make just another little cylinder here that would kind of pop out of the top if I wanted to. It's up to you of how much detail. But that is basically our little lamp all completed.